Good day, ma'am and sirs. I will discuss this chapter, the continuous of the last chapter of our paper, which is the conclusion and recommendation. So, the main purpose of our study is to comprehend the students based on their perspective and experiences and observation during COVID-19 pandemic to provide deeper understanding in the experiences of the frontliner police officers under a different scenario during pandemic in relation on their study and also on their personal life. So the purpose of this phenomenological study is to learn about the experiences of criminology students in the new normal learning in Tagum College and how they adapt these changes. Next is repeating in the new normal class. The COVID-19 pandemic, which began in 2020, had a huge impact on all types of social activities around the world, including traditional classroom activities at all levels of education were active subjects of research and discussion. Prior to pandemic, the pandemic's arrival provided an emergency to such methods of course delivery that no administrator or teaching committee delivered were forced online, creating a gap and tension in terms of successful and compelling content delivery. This situation gave educators a chance to consider the benefits and drawbacks of online learning. Next is a sensibility experience of a students during new normal class. So, the Department of Education underlined that this does not necessarily imply that teachers and students will attend school and learn in a traditional classroom, and it created a variety of modalities to ensure that online learning is a viable option in this new learning environment. Similarly, a virtual classroom would be a new standard at higher education institution. The Commission on Higher Education recommended that online and blended learning systems such as Google Classroom, Messenger, Zoom, Edmodo, Facebook, and YouTube be strengthened. Furthermore, both will use a variety of learning delivery methods, including face-to-face blended learning, distant learning, homeschooling, and other forms of delivery. Challenges encounter of students during new normal. The changes experience of a student in a new normal class and ways to handle the challenges they encounter on how they say the challenges on their life. Next is monetary aspects of students. So they have the trials pertaining on their monetary aspect, which is a financial status of a student and condition. The experience pertaining on their financial aspect. Next is burden and anxiety of students during new normal class. So in this statement, the anxiety experienced by the student in new normal class, the different burden in new normal class on how the student handles the different burden and anxiety in online class. Patience of the students during new normal class. So, after the crisis, the educational system must prepare to establish plans to move forward and address the new normal. So, the higher education must address teaching and learning continuity during and after epidemic to be resilient. And then learners are given to choose and given to choice of how they will continue their studies, where and when they can do so, and how they will comply with the standards and demonstrate learning outcomes. Next is a student's action during academic struggle. So, technology allows individuals connect and even work online without the need for face-to-face interaction in times of disaster, providing inventive and resilient solution to counteract disruption. So the students are motivated by a variety of reasons in order to improve their learning, and then students progress an initiative in the new normal classroom can be aided by a variety of learning process and styles. Next is a positiveness foreseen by student during hard times. Despite the fact that online learning is simply one of the several modalities mandated by the Department of Education, some schools as well as students, parents, and teachers are having problems transitioning. As a result, the goal of this research was to find out how to motivated students are to learn online it because online learning challenges students to take responsibility for their own learning. Next is encouragement during the obstacle. Factors that can influence what we learn, how we learn, and when we choose to learn. It given crucial reciprocal relationship between motivation and learning. It's no surprise that desire has been studied extensively in a variety of traditional education contexts. Next is adversity in the academic strata during new normal. So in new educational opportunities such as open educational resources and massive open online courses have evolved in a tandem with the development of digital technology geared at giving distance courses, allowing bigger groups of people to access education. However, because teaching using new technology necessitates a variety of abilities that most educators lack, educators must be taught on how to utilize these devices and integrate them into their own implementation. Next is a perspective of the students during new normal. Apart from that, higher education institution must develop techniques and approaches to help students maintain mental balance. So encouraging researchers to focus on anxiety knowledge, personal coping strategies, and knowledge and competence growth throughout the new normal. Teachers might aim for form academic ties with students and create appealing feeling of community in the lack of physical presence. Next is guidance to the incoming students. So the optimistic way during struggles, they have an advice on how to cope and the hardship in the course, the information how to surpass the different trials in the course. And then motivation to the incoming students. So they motivate themselves despite of the problem on the struggles. In new normal, they conquer the different hardship in their course. Next is the tips to the incoming students. So students, we must pay attention and are motivated to learn and satisfy their needs. As firm adapt new technologies form communicating and working, this results in slow of systems adjustments. And the next is recommendation of the incoming students. So the learners are the ones who face difficulties with learning technology and self-regulation. Educational institutions are responsible for providing and overcoming problems. The areas of instructional technology support and effective teachers training. So next is implication of future research. This research implies on the experiences of the criminology students in the new normal, uh, in our education, which is the study conducted in UM Tagum College. This study gives opportunity for future research in terms of theories and conducting about the experiences among different perceptions observation and experiences of criminology students on how cope up or what are those coping mechanisms that experienced during the COVID-19 pandemic in their experiences in the new normal classes or setup. This also may guide for other researchers that needs for further references for their future study. And next is concluding remarks. So, the COVID-19 epidemic has had significant impact on the education sector in the Philippines, where the population is still increasing. COVID-19 infections are currently a new typical situation in the educational context. According to this study, however, while advocating numerous response to the new normal, some obstacles and issues were raised. As a result, schools at all levels must address these issues and truly assess plans and procedures for implementing the new normal. In these trying times, the most important thing is to work together. We should assess in the formation of a post-COVID-19 education and the transition to the new normal. And the lastly is the references where we get the RLL and other side of our topic from the beginning to the last chapter. Here's the RRL. The references rather. And that's all. Thank